Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin. This is episode number 164. And this week, I'm joined by my co host, Roger, aka Lunatic Ablivion. What's going on, bro?
Not much. It's another day in paradise.
Hell yeah, man. It's starting to be a lot nicer outside. And when now we got to hit up a fair over the weekend over here at this elementary school. So that was a lot of
Mhm.
fun. But yeah, just being able to get outside and be a little bit more active, it's definitely been great. But yeah, still adjusting to my schedule. Fuck, I even woke up before Lauren today at like 7:30, 7:45, whatever it was, and I was on the go. I was cleaning the house, getting shit organized, good to go, and then watching some Star Wars, man, cause it is May the 4th be with you. So that was cool. Kind of watching some of those movies and whatnot, and then yeah, I got to play some games too. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what we've been playing. So let's just kick it off with the game we actually just started together. That's Borderlands 3. It's me, you, Jordan, and Dom playing it. This is all of our first, well, all of them except for Dom's first time playing through. But what's your overall experience with Borderlands 3 compared to the previous entries for you?
I don't know. It's too early to decide. I've always been disappointed with Borderlands recently. Like I've started an incomplete 2 multiple times. Every time I just find that I get bored about halfway through and the game just gets monotonous and boring. But I definitely am excited to give this one a go because it kind of deviates from the norm, which is nice.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But yeah, once I was watching the state of play for Borderlands 4, I was like, yo, I gotta play a beaten 3 because that's the only one I haven't beat yet. So yeah, I was glad that you guys were down to run it because I tried playing Borderlands 3 when it first dropped back in 2019. I think that's what we said, and I was like, this game's not fun when you play by yourself at all. But yeah, this game has been like a night and day difference with friends. We're just fucking shit up, having a good time. The Borderlands humor is there for sure. The gunplay is there. There's not a shortage of guns at all. There's a plethora of those. But yeah, overall, yeah, I agree. It's too early to tell if this is going to be a good one or a bad one. I mean, excuse me, I know a lot of reviews gave it like an 8 or a 9, so like this was a solid entry into the series, so hopefully it actually stays on course for that as well. We just teleported onto our new, well, we flew our ship and then we teleported down onto our new planet, so that's where we stopped after about 3 hours into the game, just under 3 hours. So we'll see how it goes, man, for sure. All right, let's talk about another game here. On your list is Blueprints. I know we kind of talked off stream, but I would love to hear it again and see if you have any further thoughts since we last talked about Blueprints and how it's going. And I know you beat it, but you're still playing it. Obviously, that gameplay loop has you hooked. So are you still dreaming about making rooms?
No, I'm honestly I'm getting burnt out finally. Like there's so many secrets and fun things to do, but the problem with all of these secrets and fun things that you can do in the game, you kind of run out of things to do at some point. Like it becomes really difficult to like do the things you want to do because you have to get the perfect layout for the house.
Hmm.
And like to get all of the trophies, you have to literally start a new game after that, beat it in one playthrough
Yep.
just to get the start. Because if you don't beat the thing in day one, you're done for. Like that's it.
Yeah, I watched somebody on YouTube beat that shit in day one. I was like, yeah, you just got to be lucky as fuck,
Hmm.
without a doubt.
Like knowing where everything is really does help, though.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I was watching a dude like they had a really great strategy of like making sure you unlock the garage so you can enter in that way and save some steps instead of backtracking a lot of the times. And then if you the outside door that you can access, there's if you re-roll it at least once or twice, you're automatically going to get the tomb. So that's another way to get into the basement. But it is really comes down to like where the fuck is the foundation going to be because that is going to be key. No pun
Yeah,
intended on
and
that one.
that's if you get the foundation.
Yeah, big if.
Big if.
But yeah, I was like, I'm not playing for the trophies or the achievements in this game. I just wanted to play and beat. I actually think I only have one achievement in the game. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I
Yeah,
beat it.
just the one trophy. That's it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not. I'm not trophy hunting or achievement hunting in for this game. I just wanted to play and beat it. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was the talk of the town, and I could see this
Mhm.
being one of those indie darlings that does get talked about a lot for at the end of the year for Game Awards. But like you were saying, it's just like there's a lot of games out right now that are they going to stay around by the time December gets
Mhm.
here? Because we're still 7 months away from the Game Awards. So
Mhm.
only time will tell for sure. But we can talk about a game that is potentially could be game of the year, especially with the news that we're going to talk about later. Is Expedition 33? This continues to be the greatest game I've played this year. I mean, like it's up there honestly with Ghost of Tsushima when I was playing that at the top of the year, and I'm just like, man, this shit has me hooked. Thinking about it all day long. I'm fucking watching YouTube videos. I'm trying to read articles and like, what's the best weapon? What's the best combinations? Like with all the Pictos and the Luminous, like there is a lot going into this game. And then if you don't do it in the correct order or like have a good setup, you're going to get fucking torched in this game without a doubt. But yeah, man, I'm still trying to get to uh Esco whatever the fuck his name is.
SK.
SK, I'm trying to get his rock still. I just progressed a little bit further into it. Trying to kill all those like crystallized like
You're
monoliths.
never gonna beat the game, man. You're never gonna beat the game. Like that was like 10 hours of gameplay ago for me. Like
Yeah,
holy crap, my man, you are so far back.
yeah. It's probably because like I don't really get a shit ton of time to play. Like I'll really hop in for like half hour, maybe an hour, and I'm playing it. Like I don't really get long sessions. When we played Borderlands 3 the other night for three last night for 3 hours or just under 3 hours, I was like, man, I haven't played this long in a video game in quite some time. Like I just never have the time to do it, especially with my new schedule. Everything is kind of thrown off a little bit because like I used to play a lot of games between 10 and 2. I'm up by myself, have all the freedom in the world. Now I don't. So it's like more of like a balancing act of like family, games, and just taking care of responsibilities and whatnot. But yeah, man, I'm excited to eventually get through Expedition 33 because we got a new game right around the corner here with Doom: The Dark Ages, and I'm just like, fuck. And I'm already like backlogged to like a shit ton of games. Like we started Borderlands 3. Like I just started Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Don't know why I did that, but I was like, you know what? Let me just see what this game's really about. I got out of the sewer, stood on the pier in front of me, and was like, that's it. I'm going to stop right here for now and return back to this game at a later point.
I don't want to play and beat games, clearly, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just adding games to my fucking repertoire of like
It was like,
currently
that was
playing.
fun for 5 minutes. You know, that was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
And mind you, I still have Assassin's Creed Shadows on the back burner right now. So yeah, it's a great time to be a gamer outside of what we're going to talk about a little bit later with pricing and stuff like that. But let's see another game here on your list. With oh yeah, I guess you didn't really talk about Expedition 33. Is your playthrough still going strong?
Yeah, honestly, the game is just super fun. I just find myself getting sidetracked doing a lot of the like trying to completionist during my first not new game plus playthrough, and it's just a lot of chugging through, and I just keep exploring, and I just don't feel like I'm done ever exploring. I'm just having a ton of fun. So
Yeah,
this game's awesome. It it's gonna be game of the year for me right now, unless something else can come in and like steal it. But I doubt it. I
we
really
got
do.
7 more months. You just never know.
You never
Well, I
know,
guess
but
6 months
I
before the
feel
cutoff, but yeah. But all right, yeah. What about Oblivion? No, is the remaster still playing strong for you? Is it still kind of like pretty lackluster compared to Skyrim?
I feel like dropping it. Honestly, like the fact that I can just teleport to all the major objectives just kind of ruined it for me a little bit. I was just like, oh, all right, well, I can just teleport to the keep. Done. All right, well, that was fun, I guess.
I low key wish I could do that in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like I literally hop on my horse and I'm just running for like 3,000 meters, and I'm just like, this is not fun at all.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah, I wish I could just fucking teleport in a blink to the next objective. I kind of miss the smaller scale Assassin's Creed games. But I guess one more game here I want to talk about is FragPunk. I just started playing it today. I haven't played it since the beta, and it's a fun game, but it's something that I can't see myself playing unless I'm playing with friends. But I do know a good bit of shoot to win player people play FragPunk, so maybe I'll get a chance to run with them. But overall, it's just definitely a fun. Like I just love that you can shoot people and fucking kill people without having help. Like that's my issues with Marvel Rivals is like I can't kill anybody to save my life unless I have like a whole team with me. For some reason, everyone's a bullet sponge in that game, but then I get one hit and I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing what
It's
I'm
it's
doing here.
it's a completely different game though. You're talking about an arena shooter versus a non-arena shooter.
Yeah, and that's probably what it is. Like I could like I'm not a huge fan of arena shooters like with Overwatch and
Mhm.
Marvel Rivals and the likes. And what was the other one we were playing from fucking Valve? I lost track of what the fuck that shit was
Deadlock.
called. Deadlock. Yes, thank you. Just wasn't feeling it, man. Like if I can't kill you myself with like 3 bullets, 4 bullets,
Mhm.
it's not it. It's just not it. But yeah, man, FragPunk. I just love the thing with the cards. Start of each round, you guys all vote on which card you want to activate. It completely alters
Mhm.
each round and stuff like that, and gives you different abilities. It can fucking flip the map upside down, give people big heads, decrease headshot multipliers, like a bunch of different shit. And there's each game just feels different at all times. But yeah, man, that's everything that I really been playing. Anything else you wanted to cover before we moved on to the industry news?
No, not this week. I don't think there's anything else for me.
Are you excited for Doom: The Dark Ages?
There's so many games, dude. I don't even know. I don't even know
There's
yet.
too many games.
There is. There really is too many games. I don't know. I'm not sure. I
And,
think
and shout out to Game
I
Pass,
think I'll
right?
be
Every
excited
time
because
you were
only
telling me again, you were looking to
yeah,
buy a game, you went in the Game Pass, and voila,
there it
there it
was.
is.
I was like, hmm, all right. Well, that's cool, I guess. But
Yeah,
no, it feels like every time I want to go buy a game, I'm like, oh, Game Pass has it. But definitely with Doom the Dark Ages, like if it's built for speed running, then I'm in. I'm all in.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. I think it's from what I see and from what I understand, it's a little bit of a slower pace game. It's I think they said it's less about verticality and
Mhm.
it's kind of more like holding your ground, like especially with the shield that you have in this game. Because like it is going like it's a prequel technically to all of them as well. But like the guns in this shit look badass. The enemies look badass. The level design looks dope. The fact that you can ride a dragon at one point, like that looks pretty dope. Um, just I'm really curious to see how this one goes because I beat 2016's Doom, but I haven't played and beat Eternal yet. But it doesn't seem like I need to because this is a prequel.
Eternal was a bad game, to be honest. Like Eternal, they decided, okay, like Doom 2016 was really cool because it was like it was more of an exploration and have fun kind of game, whereas like Eternal was like, all right, so what if we make a game that's literally just about speed running? And that's what they did, and it got really annoying really fast because like all the levels are about like they're built a specific way for speed running, and
Hmm.
if you can't master the tech, then you're just like, fuck this game. I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll definitely wait and see that it's coming up here relatively soon, but. Let's go ahead and move on though to the industry news. We actually quite a few topics this week. Let's go ahead and check that out. All right, man. So first up is with Xbox, or I should say Microsoft. Their fiscal year 2025 Q3 gaming revenue report is out. Revenue is up 5% year over year. They're contributing this mostly to obviously Call of Duty, Minecraft, and Xbox Game Pass. Let me see here. Let's see if we got any other statuses. Microsoft saw a $70.1 billion in revenue for the quarter, up 11% year over year. Net income was 25.8 billion, which is 18% year over year. Even despite with the hardware revenue being down 6% year over year, but we're at a point where I think that's going to just continue to be negative because I think they kind of capped out on like who's buying an Xbox if everything is an Xbox. Like, I think them selling hardware is just like just another entry point if you want to get
And
into
them
the ecosystem.
announcing they're increasing the prices of the Xbox because of tariffs also doesn't help.
Yeah, not at all. Which we're going to go into detail in our gaming news section there. But yeah, yeah, it's definitely not going to help out with that. Um, but yeah, it says Xbox is now considered the biggest publisher on PlayStation, as well as Game Pass hits 45% year over year. Yeah, it's just yeah, they're just cooking on all cylinders, man. It says noted that cloud gaming passed 150 million hours of usage for the first time this quarter. PC Game Pass revenue saw an increased revenue of 45% year over year. So obviously more PC gamers are starting to be invested. I mean, Roger, like you said, like when you go to buy a game and you see it's on Game Pass, like it's like
Why
almost like a
buy it?
no brainer. Like why? Yeah, and
Why
especially
buy
if
it?
we're seeing just games go up and up and up in price, which we're going to talk about. Game Pass's value was just going to be unmatched. Like I think I
Hmm.
bought one game this year, maybe two, with Ghost of Tsushima because it's on PlayStation, and I bought Assassin's Creed Shadows. But I feel like everything else that I played and beat this year was exclusively on Game Pass. So it's a win-win.
Hmm.
This is not Satya Nadella has notated weekly active users of Minecraft were up 75% since its movie's launch, which it goes to show like the
Yeah.
impact of how well that movie was. And then just everyone was like, more Minecraft, we gotta play Minecraft. So obviously
All
that's
Minecraft
exciting.
all the time.
I mean, we've seen it back when Fallout came out, right? Fallout, the TV show came out, and next thing you know, the fucking games are going through a roof, like in popularity and player counts and whatnot. So, obviously, if you got a good movie or a TV show, it's going to relay into your video games. Then, hence, look at
Hmm.
Halo. Halo's TV show was garbage. You did not see an increase in the Halo games. But let's see. This quarter saw the launch of one of the major's first-party games, Obsidian's Avowed, which also obviously drove a lot of people into Game Pass. South at Midnight from Compulsion Games, and obviously the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. On top of that, like we were playing Expedition 33. Like, why buy it if I can just play it on Game Pass, whether it's PC or Xbox, TV, mobile, whatever? Sucks to be on a PlayStation because you got to buy it, but at least it is only a $40 game at that. If you do want to buy it, it is like a cheaper entry point. Shout out to those AA games. But yeah, I would say an overall successful quarter for Xbox. But you have any thoughts on that at all?
I just it we knew this was coming a long time ago that
Yeah.
like Xbox was just going to be huge. They're once they bought Blizzard, Sony was right. It's not going to be good for the market because a lot of other publishers are just going to struggle. Like you're either on Game Pass or you fail for a lot of games lately, and it's a huge detriment to put yourself in.
Yeah. Unless you're Hi-Fi Rush, you go on Game Pass, sell a million copies still, and you get fucking shuttered. Not sure what
Hmm.
happened there, but yeah,
It wasn't a success, clearly.
yeah, it's really confusing because they're like, okay, Hi-Fi Rush sold a million copies in 5 weeks, but then South of Midnight sold a million copies in 4 weeks, and it's considered a success. It's like they're the same level of game. They did the
Hmm.
same numbers basically. One was a success and one was a failure. So it's like but I also think like maybe they realize like the expectations and the goals set for Hi-Fi Rush were a bit high and not accurate where they needed to be, and then they like evaluated like where they should be at for these style of games and then lowered them for South of Midnight, like for the next ones to come out, and hence South of Midnight was like met expectations or above because they brought their expectations much lower. That would be my only thoughts on that one.
Hmm.
But all right, Roger, let's go ahead and move on to another company that on this part is struggling.
All right, so EA. EA has always been one of those companies where they just lately haven't been hitting on all cylinders, and I don't know what's going on. Like, they have such great IPs out there, and they just decided, let's trend chase and let's do an extraction shooter in the Titanfall universe. So they canceled, as we know, the project R7. So in doing so, they ended up laying off 100 people from Respawn alone just because they killed this game. And then in addition, they laid off 300 to 400 developers in total across all of EA studios, which is nuts. Like, it's just it is insane to me that we're at this point that, like, when you trend chase, you're going to fail. Like, you have to be innovative. And I think EA was like, all right, we dumped a bunch of money into this and it was a bad idea. Oops. All right, well, these people lose their jobs.
Yeah, it was definitely poorly mismanaged. Like, they have a layup in their hands right now, right? It's called Titanfall 3. If they release Titanfall 3, that game is going to print money, and I promise you it will print money. People are
Yep.
drooling at the mouth, salivating at the mouth, waiting for Titanfall 3, but they wanted to go make an extraction shooter set in the Titanfall universe. Like, nobody wants that. Like, do we not
Yeah.
see what? Like, I'm pretty sure they canceled it. Seeing the reception of Marathon coming from Bungie's extraction shooter, they were like,
Yeah.
nobody wants an extraction shooter. Fuck.
Yeah. And like it could have easily been Titanfall 3 and one of the game modes could have been an extraction shooter. We do that in Call of Duty. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I just development has left the hands of developers and entered into the realm of big business, and they're just like, well, this clearly made money for this company, so we can do it and we'll do it. We have more money, so we'll make more money. Clearly, that's not how that works.
No, it's not. And like, how many times we talk about it is like trend chasing just never really
Yeah.
succeeds. I can't really tell you of any trend chasing, especially so late into a genre where it has worked.
Yep.
The only time like stuff has really worked was like when it was immediate, like when PUBG hit, Fortnite was like, "Ooh, let's make a battle royale," and like that overtook
That's
the battle
great
royale.
game, bud.
Like,
Thanks for letting me know. Like, yeah.
and then like Apex Legends came out at the perfect time. That was actually a time where EA actually did something that worked, because they were still early. Like that was like the third or fourth battle royale into the market, and then we had like Warzone. Like it was perfect timing, but extraction shooters are already, in my opinion, come and gone. Like Call of Duty has already dropped their extraction shooter DMC. So like, if Call of Duty, the biggest, okay, let's say the second biggest IP in the world next to Fortnite, drop their extraction shooter, what do you think anybody else is going to do in the market? They're not going to succeed, I promise you. But yeah, hopefully EA can get it together because like they can't fumble the bag with Respawn because Respawn is phenomenal. They have never failed in any aspect. Titanfall 1, that mishap was probably their weakest one, but it led on to getting Titanfall to one of the greatest FPS campaigns of all time. Led to us getting Apex Legends, great battle royale. Then we can't forget about the Star Wars Jedi series with Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, like both phenomenal. Third one still in the works, and then they recently announced like the turn-based RPG one that's coming out, the tactics game. Like
Hmm.
they have a lot going for them, just don't fuck it up. And hopefully, like Vince Zampella and the rest of the Respawn team was like, "Hey, I don't think we should do an extraction shooter." EA was like, "You're right." Like they actually hopefully listened.
But we're already this far in. Clearly, we've already lost too much. Got to fire some people now.
Yeah. And obviously we can't go on like we forget that the issues that they're also dealing with from BioWare. Like Dragon Age the Veilguard didn't do so well per se. Like it just
You mean a
depends on what
game? You mean
expectations that you
a
set.
single player game with like cash shop like items would fail?
Right. But it still sold how
Watch
many
Dogs does
copies?
what?
Like 1 or 2 million copies, but
Yeah.
to them that was a failure. Again, it was just one of those companies that need to reevaluate what their expectations are. But then like obviously they're hitting on their sports games like EA Sports FC 25 has been doing really good. Madden has been doing great. College football obviously was
It's
one
the
of the
same
best selling
thing.
games last year.
It's the same shit, different day. Where people are like, "Oh, it's a sports game. Got to get it to play with all my friends. They're gonna keep playing, so I got to do it too." And it's like those are printing money because of people fanboys just like yourself who used to be a fanboy for Call of Duty. You'd buy every
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty. It could have literally been, a box, shit wrapped in a box with a
And
nice
still would
bow,
have
and you
bought it.
didn't like that. Still would have bought it.
And then realize, hey, this shit's garbage and stop playing it out after a month.
They sold me feces. Yes, yes, they did.
Yeah, so hopefully EA can hopefully with their realization of what's in and what's not in can get them back on the right path there.
Hopefully.
All right. let's talk about Apple versus Epic. We finally got an update on this, and this is a huge win for Epic Games and another big ass loss for Apple. This is Epic offers a olive branch to Apple, offers to bring Fortnite back to iOS after the new court ruling. Apple has been ordered to stop charging commission on purchases outside of the app. Basically, like like Apple was charging like a 30% commission if you like made a transaction purchase inside the app, but then everyone else has been starting to implement ways of paying it outside of the app, but Apple still wanted to claim a 30% commission, and the court was like, yeah, no. That's not how that worked, buddy. Like, that is called a monopoly and we need to fix this, and you are not entitled to that money because you're not doing anything to get that money. Like, we can get it if it
Yeah.
was made in the app because like it's on your app store, blah blah blah. I get that part, but hopefully, whenever they come to this conclusion, allow like however many app stores on iOS devices, that's going to be great. So Apple doesn't get that money. But yeah, it's awesome to see that Fortnite should be returning to iOS globally soon. This is not just in the EU this time. This is going to be coming to back to here in the States. So, any thoughts on this, Roger?
I just fuck Apple, man. Like I've always hated Apple, and like this is just one of those moments where you're like, fuck yeah, stick it to them.
You believe we've been covering this shit since day one? I forgot that this shit started back in 2020.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I remember. It's just it's it's exhausting. It really is. It's really truly exhausting. Like these guys have been fighting about this forever.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And you know me, like I've always been the quote unquote Apple fanboy. Like, I have the watch, I have the phone, I have it all. I have the AirPods. It's just like I'm in the ecosystem now at this point where like if I switch phones, I'm gonna have to switch watches and AirPods and I used to have a MacBook. Like all of that stuff would have to get changed. Like you're fully invested in like Apple Music. I use Apple Music more than I don't use Spotify at all.
Mhm.
And I use Apple iCloud. Like every all of my photos and documents are saved right into the iCloud. Like it would be a hell of a process to transition from Apple to a new ecosystem. And that's
Mhm.
kind of just where that was their game plan though. Like that's what they wanted.
Yeah,
Once you're
they
in, good
want
luck getting
people
out.
who are stuck. Yeah, and they don't make it easy to get out. Like it takes a lot of hours to just try to dig yourself out of being in the ecosystem.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Epic, man. That's another epic win. Winky face. All right, Roger, what is going on with Nintendo, man? Because it seems like they're never not busy in this case.
Nintendo honestly has too many lawyers on retainer. That's all I'm saying here. Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. They're suing someone else. So Apple is now suing the company called Genki by suing their parent company Human Things. They this company 3D printed a Switch 2 to demo at a convention at where was it here?
CES
It was
2025 in Las
yeah.
Vegas.
So they demoed the Switch 2 with everything that it was going to be without an actual Switch 2 model. They like 3D printed it to show people. Like first of all, why? Why would you do this? Why would you go out of your
I
way
could
to
see the
like
mindset. They're like, it's not really a Switch 2. It's a fake. It doesn't have no internals. So this, we're
just
not going to get in trouble, right?
yeah, I don't like it's like stealing company secrets and then releasing them. Like, well, I made a Xerox copy of the document, so it's not really the real document, right?
Yeah,
I just
I saw
I
this
don't know
coming.
why they would do this.
Yeah, I
Like,
really saw this coming. Like
oh,
whenever I remember watching the CES because a lot of people were there talking about the Switch 2 accessories and stuff, and I was just
mhm,
like, I feel like this is illegal. Like you're putting like the Switch 2 hasn't been revealed yet to what it looks like. We obviously know the Switch 2 was announced at that point to be coming, but we had no idea what it was going to look like and what would be capable, like dimensions and whatnot. And I was just like, I feel like this is a bit off, but I could be wrong, and here we are. Because this was back in like the summertime or fuck, when was it? Not summertime. They're January, I think it is for CES, if I'm not mistaken.
mhm.
And so we're here like 4 months later, and Apple or Nintendo was like, we're gonna take a law legal action
We're
here.
gonna
Add to our
we're
long
gonna
list.
throw you a lawsuit. Yep, another lawsuit coming your way, pal.
Yeah, I would love to see how many cases they actually have like active right now, because I lost track. We're covering one like every other week, it seems.
Yeah, and a lot of it's all the same one over and over again, but it's just holy crap, guys. What the hell?
Yeah, get it together. All right, man. That's everything in the industry news. Any last thoughts on any of those topics that we covered?
Nope, let's hop into the gaming news.
Yes, sir. Let's check that out. All right, kicking it off here with Xbox related news. First up is in regards to the aforementioned price increase for coming from Xbox here. Um, Man, everything's getting expensive and it's pretty insane. So like the Xbox Series S, 512 gigabytes is going from 299 up to 379. The Series S 1 terabyte is going from 349 to 429. The Series X digital is 449 up to 549. The Series X base console is going from 499 up to 599. The Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition is from 599 the whole way up to 729.99. Then the controllers are also going up. The core 64.99, the colored ones are 69.99, special editions are 79.99, limited editions are up to 89.99. The Elite Wireless Series 2 core from 139 up to 149. The Elite Series 2 full, where so it comes with like all of the bonus accessories from 179 to 199. The headsets going up to 64.99. The infamous headset that has crashed my computer day in and day out was $99. Actually went to 109 and now it's going up to 119.99 as well. So on top of that, their games moving forward, any future first party games will be $80 instead of 69.99. So those are going up. But any games that have already come out will not see a price increase, so that's good there. But I mean, doesn't really fucking matter. If you're in Xbox, you're getting them on Game Pass. So I actually wouldn't be surprised with all of this that we don't see an increase with Game Pass soon. But yeah, Roger, what's your thoughts on all of the price hikes?
Thanks, Obama. No, I'm just kidding. Like, it's just it honestly, I don't want to get political here, but it just um I it's not gonna bring industry back here. Like we've literally made a mockery of ourselves, and we as consumers are gonna pay yet again for their dumb mistake by another dumb fucking idiot. Like, if COVID wasn't bad enough, here we go. Like, we're gonna see shelves empty a second time in a row, and to prevent shelves going empty, like, all we're doing now is just hiking prices. Like, it's just
Yeah, we're taking a hobby that should be enjoyable and accessible to most
everyone.
people and everyone in most cases to
Hmm.
it getting price gated. Like if you don't make a lot of money, you're not going to be able to get into this hobby.
You're not
Sucks to
allowed
suck.
to. You're just not allowed. Yeah, you're out. Sorry. Have a good day. Bye.
And like
Like, it just
obviously like with Nintendo setting the precedence with the Switch 2 and increase on those games, Xbox was probably like, I guess we'll follow suit. And there's been
yep.
rumors that PlayStation is doing the same thing. Obviously, we've been following them, and they've been increasing prices around the world already as it is. But I wouldn't be
Like,
surprised if
why wouldn't
PlayStation
they?
does it. Yeah, and it's so crazy. Like I think it was IGN actually threw a breakdown in a 4.5 years after each console release of each generation, we saw at least like 100 to at least 50% of the prices go down. And that was from the Xbox to the 360 to the Xbox One, which saw the biggest drop from like 500 or 400 down to $100 or whatever it was, something crazy. And the Series
All I'm
X and the
saying,
Series S is like damn near doubled. Not really, but it's like going up at least $100 to $200. You're just like, we're going the wrong direction 4.5 years into this.
I just all I gotta say is Donald Trump has managed to yet again break history. Like, my man is making history every time he's in the office. It just, it just, and you have to watch the mental gymnastics of everyone on the other side going, you know, it's okay. maybe people just, Americans are going to have two dolls instead of, $50 this year. And it's like, who's making those dolls? We have no factories making dolls. What do you mean? Like, we don't have that industry here in the US, and it's not coming back because, like, all of the items to make these things we need aren't made here. And turns out China has now just made a monopoly on the biggest battery manufacturing ingredient that's come out of the new iteration of batteries. Like, they have 99% of the resource that's used. I forget what it was that they have now for batteries, but they literally it yep.
He's like, I can go on a whole tangent.
Yep. I can't, man. My man, it is just we're going to see more and more problems for a long time to come. But,
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of
we
repercussions, but as long as we
and
have
it's going to
Game
be
Pass,
hell for a
this
year.
is gonna be great. And then,
Oh no, no, Game Pass is going up. I'm sorry, didn't you get the memo?
yeah.
Clearly,
But the thing is,
that's
it'll still, to me and you, it'll still be worth the value because, like, even if it
yep.
was like $50 a month, please don't fucking mark it up to $50 a month. It would still be worth the value with as long as they keep adding to the service, right? Like they've been on a
As long as I
constant,
get a
solid
new
flow.
game every month.
It pays for itself. And if I beat two
Mhm.
games that month, like my God, I just made out. And there's been some months where we have beaten three, four, 5 games in a month. Like we make the return on value like tenfold, and it's insane. So I'm very thankful for Game Pass. Very very
Yeah,
thankful.
I agree. It's one company has actually done a good service. Like, holy crap.
But I think it's the long term effect that I'm most worried about because like we know that the next generation of Xbox is rumored to be
Hmm.
coming out next year, and the PlayStation is rumored to come out in 2027. The Switch 2 comes
And
out
we're gonna
next
be like
month.
the only country where it's gonna be a bajillion fucking dollars for it.
Yes and no, but you remember when we were covering like a lot of the price markups, like it was every country in the world except us. But now we're
Hmm.
starting to see the increases. So yeah, we'll
Yeah, but
definitely
ours are like astronomically more.
yeah, they go up like 10%.
uh,
We go up like damn near 100%.
we're looking at a 20 to 30% increase on some of those tiers.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely been insane. All right, man. So just one quick update to one of the games. Maybe it's time for me to eat my words that maybe Overwatch 2 is not a dead game. They have had 7.8 million hours and 2.3 million matches played of the new stadium mode in its launch week. And I was just like, holy shit.
Stick, but does it stick?
Right, that's
Like,
going to be the key. Like maybe the hype is there to try out this shiny new brand, like new mode, and they're like, okay, I tried it. That's it. Back down to playing Marvel
that's
Rivals again.
the best it's ever going to be.
Yeah. So we'll just continue to follow this and see if Stadium hangs around for and have like holds up its longevity. Although if it does, I'll eat my words officially here on stream. But that's why I had to put like maybe I
Congratulations.
do.
Yeah.
All right, man. So no PlayStation news surprisingly this week, but if you want to go ahead and cover the Nintendo news this week for us.
Yeah, so they confirmed to not sell consoles or peripherals in Central America or the Caribbean. So if you're in Central America, you will not be getting the Switch 2, which like is a weird one. Like, um, I'm honestly, I'm honestly interested. Like, yeah, when they made this decision. So it just it's it's an interesting thing to have happened.
Yeah, I'm curious to like why is it not being sold there is the real question. Like is there like maybe they were looking at it and like they didn't have like a strong or a big player base there from the Nintendo Switch, which they wanted to then just allocate all resources to countries that has a big player base to it so they can sell the
Mhm.
Switch to, but maybe there's like some political thing that's going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about.
And then next up, we have the software announcement for the Switch. So they add game sharing, virtual cards, and more. So, with firmware 20 now available for Switch owners to download, you can now get the new virtual game card system, which allows players to loan digital games to their friends. So, if you have a game in your library that you've downloaded, you can now share that on the original Switch, which is really cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a feature just for the Switch 2. It's a feature for everyone. So like if you had a game that you beat, you're not really playing it, you can send your friend your virtual copy. So we always talk about, well, what happens if I get this game, I can't share it with my friends. Yeah, I can't share my digital copy. Like I have to then like illegally share to them. Or the other thing that was happening a lot is people would buy things on their account and then add people to their family plan. And
Hmm.
I think Nintendo finally wised up and was like, wait. Why don't we not do that?
Let's create a
And
feature where you can just share the
instead,
fucking game.
yeah, you're gonna do it. All right. Well, maybe I should do something about that.
Yeah, this is one of those features that Xbox was like way ahead of its time. Like when the OG Xbox One came out, like this was a feature that was supposed to launch with the console and got like the worst fucking hate in the world for. And then they ended up removing the feature and they never added that shit back. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
now Nintendo does it and everyone's like, ooh. I'm just like, I'm so confused. Like, bro,
Yeah.
I watched Xbox get fucking torched for doing the same thing, but Nintendo's getting praised.
It's because Xbox, they were around the whole issue with like physical media and the problems with like they were the ones trying to lock down your CDs so that you couldn't share your copies,
Yeah.
right?
It was a
So
really interesting one. It was like
that's why they got torched. We can't gloss over the fact that Microsoft is like, let me shoot myself in the foot and then be like, why am I the victim?
yeah,
Like,
it's like cuz like they were trying to like force everybody to go digital
yeah.
before the digital age was the norm. Where like now if you own physical copies it's like, oh, you're a weirdo, like, or you're just a collector. Like most video games are now bought digitally.
Yeah, well, Microsoft is like, all right, we're not really gonna push it, but we're gonna push it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And everyone else is like, all right, whatever, Microsoft, you be the bad guy, and then we'll
We'll
take the
follow
credit
suit.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like gotta be honest, Microsoft, real shitty thing to do. They set the
Mhm.
trend, and everyone else is like, yep, we're in, and we're over here holding the fucking bag. Like, wait, we got fucked by this, and we sit here and talk about digital preservation and how shitty
Mhm.
this whole thing has been.
Yeah.
And like we can't stop for a moment and be like, well, Microsoft tried to help us out. It's like, no, they fucked us. Like
Right, they
they were
set
the
us.
one who pushed the
Yeah,
trend.
yeah, right. They set us down this path of going all digital. Now I'm like, oh, I'm a physical collector, and I'm pissed when I can't
Yep.
buy a game physical. Like they only made the game digital, and I'm like, well, fuck me then, I guess, because like I want the
Mhm.
physical copy of the game. I bought an Xbox that has a goddamn disc drive, so I want to put a disc in my disc
You're
drive.
the idiot for buying a disk drive. That's clearly the issue
I'm the
here, bud.
problem.
You are the problem.
Yeah, I got it.
I can't. I just
But yeah,
uh
shout out to Nintendo though for moving this out early in like a whole month
instead
before
of
the Switch
trying to
2.
lock down, the shit, they instead did the good guy Nintendo thing and said, "Hey, we know you're fucking around, and instead of making you find out, we'll actually just let you share your digital copies. Now stop sharing
Or
your
stop
family plan."
emulating all of the games when you can just borrow
Yeah,
it from
like
your friend now.
like you don't need to do this shit. Here's a copy. We let you share it now. Okay,
Yeah.
stop cheating us. Like, okay, I'll stop family planning.
All right, man. So that's everything with Nintendo. Um, Big update here for Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, which got its official release date for July 24th, 2025. It is a never a shortage of games. This is also coming to Game Pass day one, so I'm excited to check this one out. It says, let me see if we got any. I'll get the actual. There's a trailer that they put out, so I'll get that up. I look over the article for any specific details if it's important. Roger, do you remember seeing this game when this was announced at all?
You
My
never
God, no,
know
dude.
you
There
are a
are so many
monster.
games. I can't even remember half of them anymore, and it's just like I sit here and talk about them with you, but I can't even remember like half the games we talk about.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like
Let me get the trailer here up. All right, now it's good. Let's get the
trailer, yeah, now I remember. Yeah, it's another Souls-like game.
more or less, yeah.
It's okay though. Trend chasing is okay if you do it, in a single player game. Cuz like the problem is with if you trend chase like this shit in a multiplayer game, then you ruin it for yourself because you have to have a multiplayer base for a multiplayer game. But if in a single player game, you can trend chase all the fuck you want and it won't matter because if you make a good game, people are going to play it. But if people don't have friends to play with, they're not going to play a trend chased multiplayer game, even if it is good.
Right, because if it's not that great, how am I going to convince my friend to download a game that isn't enjoyable?
Yep, or is mid at best.
Right, when I can just go play something out that is just like it that I've already spent thousands of dollars on cosmetics for, you know.
And like if we're not trend chasing the cash shop, we're gonna do better. Like you can clearly see this. Like this is a single player Souls like game, and it's not trend chasing. So
And I
we
think
know
and
that.
it's coming at like the good time. Like there's not that many Souls like games this year, and it looks good. It's coming out in the summertime. Like I don't know, man. It's hitting at like a really great time. Like it cannot come out at a better point, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But yeah, this one looks really good, and really excited to check this out in July. But yeah, it's coming from 505 Games. It's being made in Unreal Engine 5. No big surprise there. This is the official synopsis. It says you assume the role of Wu Chang, a pirate warrior afflicted by a mysterious malady known as the Feathering, explore forgotten temples, unravel ancient secrets, and absorb the powers of the vanquished bosses to ascend into legend, forged in a shadow and flame. Um, so yeah, there's definitely seems like an interesting one. I mean, nonetheless, like you said, it's coming to Game Pass. If it's a shitty game, you didn't waste any money on. But on top of that,
Mhm.
for those who are going to buy this game, it is only a $50 game. So you're not spending 70, 80, $90 into a game that you don't know how well it's going to be.
It could be okay. It could be horrible. You don't know.
And $50 is a lot easier to swallow than 90 or 80. For sure. But yeah, man, that was a big update for that. A lot of games actually got announcements like for release dates and whatnot. So Borderlands 4 got an update to the release date. It was originally supposed to come out on September 23rd, and it was moved up just under 2 weeks on September 12th. So that was a big one there. They just had their state of play back on April 30th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sponsored by PlayStation, which I was watching it, had me super excited, and I was like, man, I got to play through Borderlands 3 and whatnot. But yeah, Borderlands 4 right around the corner, man, right around the corner. So, but it's also gonna be like, this one's not gonna be on Game Pass like we're playing through Borderlands 3. So it's gonna be one of those like, do I spend $70 or $80 for Borderlands, or do I wait for it to go on sale or be added to Game Pass, or do I wait to see how good it is and then I buy it? You know, you got any thoughts on how to recommend to approach Borderlands 4 to the average gamer?
Honestly, pick it up, play it with a friend. Borderlands always been a fun game to play with other people, but just, temper your expectations. It may not be the best game you've ever played.
Right. And obviously, we've seen the hype from the movie being absolutely terrible. So, like, I feel like that's going to hinder, like, the expectations and the excitement around Borderlands in a way. But I do say that Borderlands 3 coming to Game Pass kind of helped breathe some life into the franchise, because I've been seeing a ton of people play Borderlands 3. I've been seeing even a lot of people on Shoot to Win play Borderlands 3, and I'm like, these guys don't really play story mode games. Like, they're all multiplayer games heavy, but this one allows them to at least have fun and play through it. And it was like, they were like, wow, I didn't really realize how good this game was going to be, blah, blah, blah. So shout out to Game Pass, man, because I bet you a lot of those guys would not have bought it and picked it up. Promise you they wouldn't have.
Yeah, why waste the money on a game that's clearly not what you typically would play? Like,
Right.
it's just a waste of money at that point.
Yeah. comes a Game Pass, yeah, I'll check it out. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
free. All right, yeah, my favorite price. Let's go.
All right, let's talk about a multiplayer shooter here real quick. One that I'm actually excited for its official release, but they're getting a another open beta coming on May 22nd, and yeah, man, I'm excited to dive in and check out this beta. I can't remember. Did you ever play the OG Splitgate with me at all?
I did not. I was never really. I didn't want to pick up another arena style shooter game. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it was a Halo style arena shooter, but like, I'm so over them, man. Like, they tire me out.
Yeah, this one was just fun though, man. I played a lot with Bass, Dom, and even Bruno, and it was just like a good flow of like Halo meets Titanfall, but like with the portal gun, and it wasn't something that you had to feel like you were missing out on anything. It didn't feel like you were behind in anything. But they've added a lot of features into like Splitgate 2, like the different characters have different abilities. The unlock progress is a little bit different. So I mean, I think what they took was Splitgate and just enhanced it and added a lot to it is really what's going to drive this game. And it's built in Unreal Engine 5 as the other one was built in Unreal Engine 4. So you'll see that leap in progression too. But yeah, man, maybe you can hop in with me and we could check out the beta here at the end of the month. And then that'll help
Maybe.
you decide whether you play the official full release of the game or not. All right, Roger. Let's talk about another game that got its official release date here.
All right, so Lost Soul Aside is a new game coming out by Sony as the publisher, and like one of the things we talked about is how Sony's always a day late and a dollar short with their PC launches, and this is one of their first titles that they're finally publishing on PC and PlayStation same day, which is pretty cool. Like this game is coming out on both, I believe, at the same time, but it's coming out August 29th. Lost Soul Aside is an epic odyssey to save your younger sister and the whole of humanity from a mysterious dimensional invader from beyond the starlit skies. It looks cool, honestly.
Hmm.
It's an action adventure game. Combat sort of feels like a Souls like game. But it definitely has that sort of
It has
feel
like a
that I
JRPG style as well, like
yeah.
into it. It seems like a very interesting combination. I do remember this game at the PlayStation State of Play, like their showcase, and this is like one of the ones that did stand out to me. This one kind of like your companion reminded me of the companion from like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, but like you said, it has like a Souls like feel meets like anime meets JRPG. The art style doesn't seem over the top because like a lot of JRPGs to me kind of just all look exactly the same. But this one kind of blends like the traditional JRPG with like almost like a Western look in a way. I don't know if I'm describing it how I envision it in my mind, but do you plan on checking this one out?
Not for I'm not buying a game right now, but maybe by August something will change. But it looks like a really fun game, but it just doesn't look up my alley at the moment.
That's fair. But yeah, we'll definitely continue to follow that and see if that game gets to be added to the game of the year running list. Maybe a nominee, maybe not. We'll see. All right, Roger. Another big announcement here too. They're
All
never
right,
ending
so
this week.
yeah, so Larian Studios has announced that now that they're done with Baldur's Gate, they are now starting two brand new games simultaneously. So they are working on two new titles to add to their catalog in the coming years. I'm interested to see what Larian's going to drop, but I can assume it's just going to be another turn-based strategy game or like a real-time strategy game like we see with Divinity and with Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they go back to like some of their older roots with like they worked on the Divinity games like or Original Sin 2 and Divinity 2 and stuff like that. I'd be curious to see if they dive back into that IP or if they just do something completely brand new. Or even if they stay along the lines of like in the Baldur's Gate like world, but the game isn't directly called Baldur's Gate, like similar to like how Avowed was. Like Avowed is part of like the Pillars of Eternity universe, but then like this game is just called Avowed, and it's set in the universe, but it's a different game. So like I'd be curious to see if they do some take that approach, or if they just go completely brand new and something completely different.
Mhm. Alrighty. So next up we have news from Warhammer. Just an interesting little article is the developers gave their blessings to a modding group that decided to release a mod for Space Marine 2 that changed the player count all the way up to all the way up to 12 players, and in doing so they're building a new support for raid like missions where the bosses in the fights will hit like trucks. The developer of the mod said, and I quote, they'll hit like trucks.
I got the
So
trailer, like some gameplay of this up on screen. I'm not sure if you have saw this yet, but I was like, "Holy fuck, this looks
yeah.
crazy!" And I was like,
You're going.
the world already renders so much. Like I'm sure it can handle 12 players, no biggie. But like you imagine like the massive amount of hordes that could come after you now. Like all of those hordes you see out in the distance. What if they all came to
Hmm.
you? Like that'd be crazy. But like you
Yeah.
said, like the bosses that could go on in the raids and stuff like that, and like I don't know, like it could be dope. Like looking at like a World of Warcraft boss, but like in Space Marine 2 with
Hmm.
12 players, yeah, that could be crazy.
Honestly, it could leave a lot open to returning to Warhammer 40K as a large scale battle game as opposed to just a smaller group based game. It honestly, I like the idea of small combat Space Marine stuff, but like what happens if we get a Warhammer game where it's just not small form combat, but it is like actual like giant campaign missions? Like it would be awesome. I 2000 point battles going on in the tabletop. This would be rad, like in my opinion. But with 12 people, just not enough enemies in this game. I think if we see this game become bigger, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, it's just
More
awesome to
enemies.
see the success behind this game, and then like the modding community getting behind it, and then getting the support from the developer for the mods and stuff like that has been
Mhm.
awesome to see, as opposed to getting just completely wiped and shut down, which we've been
Yeah.
seeing a lot of, like the cease and desist going across the board.
Yep. It's just super annoying that these developers just don't want people, making their game better, which is weird to me. It
Right.
just truly
You could
perplexes me.
you save the money on development, right? They talk about how expensive
Yep.
development is, so now you have people working on your game for free, and then
Hmm.
it's going to, if the mods and stuff like that are great, it's going to drive people to want to play your game. So they're going to probably buy
Hmm.
the game or play it via Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, whatever, however they're going to play it. So they're investing more money into you, which normally probably wouldn't have happened unless these mods happen. You know, so
And the
to me it's
mods
like a
were
win-win.
free to make. They
Yeah,
were free
exactly.
to make.
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
as a developer, you don't have to do shit, and it's just free money at that point.
Yeah, why not? All right, man. Let's talk about Ubisoft. This is mainly about Assassin's Creed. First up, Ezio is returning. Um, so on in August of this year, um, Ezio Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2 and two of the players from Odyssey are going to be playable in Reverse 1999. I'm actually not familiar with this game, but Roger, do you happen to know much about Reverse 1999 at all?
Mm-mm, not at all.
Yeah, so let's get a trailer up here on screen, as we can maybe talk about it, because I do not know much about it. This is the official trailer, so we shall see. So it almost looks like anime esque style of a game. Um, I think it's like a turn based, uh, like RPG like fighting game or something like that. I forget exactly how they described it, but it was like a different take, and I was like, it's interesting that they wanted to do a crossover event. And then like the characters that they chose from the Assassin's Creed universe was obviously the famous one, but then they grabbed two characters from Odyssey that was I seemed a bit random to me.
Mhm.
But let me see if I can find a trailer that has maybe some gameplay, because this game I think it's been out for a little while. Yeah. Very interesting. So I got some gameplay here up on screen. It seems like very
It's
like
a mobile game.
Mario Paper turn
It's
based
a
looking
mobile
game. Yeah. But yeah, man. Awesome to see though
game.
that
It just
Ezio is returning into
I
something
just
at least.
it's such a sellout to me is what it is. Ubisoft's like, we're floundering. Let's just sell off our character's identity and water our and just like completely water our IP down.
Yeah. So yeah, Reverse 1999 is a turn-based tactical RPG that has racked up over 30 million players since being released in October of 2023. Um, I could see why they would want to partner up with this. So that's a lot of fucking people.
Hmm.
I
It's
mean,
called
we
money.
we talk about games like barely getting to a million or 2 million, and those are considered failures. Like these guys have had 30 million players come across their game. Yeah, I could see where it could also it's like free advertisement. Oh, you see the characters in Assassin's Creed? Come check out the actual games that they're actually from.
Hmm. Play our collection that we don't really have for sale anywhere.
Unless you're on Xbox, yo, them shits are on sale all the fucking time. All right, man. So what is going on with Hypercharge?
Alrighty. So Hypercharge is officially coming to PlayStation on January, February, March, April, May.
Yeah,
It's coming May 30th, 2025. So let's see here.
I'm not sure if you
It,
remember this game. I got a trailer or some gameplay up on screen, but it's like you're playing as like the toy soldiers and shit.
yes. You had put the wrong link, so I was like,
Oh, my bad.
that's not the right thing. Yeah, so you play as toy soldiers in a third person shooter action game. Which to me is a little weird that we're still doing this thing again where we're making first person like first and third person shooters and trying to capitalize the market. But what's interesting though is there is a story, it says here.
There's a story
So you
mode. Yep.
help Sergeant Max Ammo to defeat major evil and save the hypercore. So it's a 1 to 4 player online or local co-op, full split screen support, including online and local. It difficulty is scales with the number of players. It's a wave-based shooter with a story campaign, with also classic PvP game modes built in. But the idea is just like you're literally cartoon like toy soldiers, and you get different characters, but, like, in one of the scenes, there's literally Beyblades coming at you, and you're getting hit by fucking Beyblades on the ground, dude,
Yeah,
like,
it
they're
was a
fucking
pretty
rip, I
crazy
guess.
one, and this was like from a super small studio. Like the studio was founded in 2015, but it was like a small group of friends just came together and they wanted to like put this idea together and make it like I remember when this game was first announced and it was first coming out. Like I was hyping it up, like I really wanted to buy it and support it, but I just never got around to it because of how much games were out at the time because it came out back in 2020, and
Mhm.
yeah, man, I was just like, yeah, this shit's dope. But now more players will be able to check it out because it's officially coming to PlayStation. It's already been out on the PC and Xbox for a while now. But
Yeah.
maybe one of these times I'll check it out because it seems like very like 1990s, early 2000s vibes, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic, like, it has that cartoon vibe to me, like the Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah. All right, and that's end of the month here, man. And I completely skipped over one of Ubisoft's last things that was irrelevant to me at this point. But oh well. But let's go ahead and end out our podcast with the biggest news of the year, I think. We never had an official release date for GTA 6, but Rockstar went ahead and announced that the game has been delayed and has an official release date as of now, May 26th of next year. Um, so it'll be
Hope you
curious
didn't
to
want to
see how
play it
the
anytime soon.
like I think it came out at a perfect time because we do have like all of the game showcases coming out next month, and now this gives every developer, every publisher now a chance to go. We weren't sure when we were going to release the game, but now like the back half of the year is pretty
It's open.
empty. It is really open right now, and they don't have to worry about running into GTA 6 and being absolutely overshadowed. Let's
We
go ahead and
know this year's game of the year is now a jump ball. Like we don't know what's coming.
right. Obviously, I would say arguably Expedition 33 is the front runner as of May 4th, but
I mean, Split Fiction, my friend.
yeah, exactly. There's a long like there's so
Like
many great games.
I played both, and like honestly, like Expedition 33, awesome if you're a solo player, but like playing like me and my wife could not put down. Jordan and I could not put this game down. It was so good.
Yeah, it looked fucking phenomenal. I'm excited to eventually give it a go. But yeah, as you've seen, what I shared in the Discord, I was like the 6 games right now that I think they're in running for Game of the Year at this point is Expedition 33, Split Fiction, Blueprints, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. But I obviously I think that list is going to change as the year goes on because I just
But
feel like
like
there's
we
going to be
can't
something.
have Oblivion in there because like it's a remaster remake and it can't be Game of the Year, Vic. You said so yourself.
It can't be for me, but I know how the industry works, so like I'm going by like how they would normally operate, and I already know they're going to include a remake or a remaster, whether it's this one or another one that may release this year. You just
My
never
man
know.
Marshmallow over here has also said the same thing before, and he's like, "Nah, Oblivion's in the running." I'm like, "What the f- you talking about?"
I don't think it should be. Like when I make my
I
list
don't
at the
think
end of
it
the year,
either.
it's not going to be included because I already told you my stance on remakes, remasters. They've
Yeah,
already had their chance.
this wasn't a remake. This was a remaster. Like they changed some features or whatever, but they truly didn't like rebuild the game from the ground up. It wasn't like, a complete retelling of the story like Final Fantasy 7 is the new 7. It's a complete retelling. Like it's a whole
Hmm.
different game.
Yeah, it's just
How
like
do you
there's
allow that?
such a blur into like what is a remaster and what is a remake, because like you can go as far as like you said Final Fantasy 7, that is a fucking remake like on a whole
It,
nother level. But then you see like
yeah,
Dead Space, right? Dead Space remake. To me, that was more of a
a remaster.
remaster than a remake. They've
Mhm.
had they changed like one part of the one level. I guess you can say like that's why it's a remake, but like also what should have defined a remake is like when it's built in a whole nother engine and not just like enhanced graphics and like faster FPS. Like that's what a
But
remaster
then,
was like it was just a slight boost
yeah.
in like FPS and a slight boost in like HD graphics, but they didn't really touch
Mhm.
the base level of the game. But like Oblivion, like they took it from the creation engine and they didn't copy and paste it into Unreal Engine because that's actually not how that works. Like they actually had to build every character model from scratch and redid the lip syncing technology that they've added to it to like new audio cues. Like they had to re-record some of the audio lines. Like a lot of it like went into this game, so like that's why a lot of people are like this is like basically a remake, but like we understand why it's also considered a remaster. So like it's one of those that's like it could be either or, but the fact that they
Yeah,
left a lot of like the bugs and the issues of the original in this game because they wanted to do that also by choice because they wanted you to have the same feeling when you play that game, this version of
you
the game.
played their broken garbage. They wanted you to feel like you were still playing garbage.
Right, just looks prettier.
But
Yeah, so it's very interesting, but nonetheless, we definitely trailed off of the big topic here was GTA 6 got delayed, man. Like it's so crazy to me. Like they've announced it. They showed one trailer, and that is it. And now we get an announcement. Hey guys, it's delayed. And I'm
I
surprised
mean,
that they even gave it a date, in my
more
opinion,
than that.
because they didn't have a date already.
Mhm.
So I'm like wondering, like, was it supposed to come out say May 26th of this year, and they were like, maybe we should just delay it a whole year, or was it supposed to come out later and they wanted to delay it? But what was really interesting is like the announcement of the Borderlands date being moved up happened before GTA 6 being delayed, and everyone thought, oh, they're moving Borderlands up to give more time for that game to succeed because GTA 6 is right around the corner because they're coming from Take Two, both of them. So it was definitely an interesting play on their part, but nonetheless, they have a lot coming for them. Like they have the Mafia games coming out, Borderlands 4 is coming out, to 2K, all of their sports games whenever they drop coming out. Like they're not going to miss, but GTA 6 is going to be massive when it does drop, which we know.
Mhm.
But were you surprised to see them delay?
Honestly, no, I really wasn't. I kind of was sitting here going, I I didn't expect them to delay, but I'm not surprised that they did because I think they would much rather just have a better game to begin with. And also releasing next year instead of like at the end of this year, or like, right before fall this year or during fall of this year. It just they have a better time for people to really just buy their game and throw all their weight into it.
Hmm.
Also, they can charge more next year because of tariffs.
Yeah, I'm sure that this, if rumors were to go to show, like they were talking about this game could be the first $100 game for the standard
Hmm.
edition.
Yeah,
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm
mhm,
also curious, like with the delay, like this was only coming to PlayStation and Xbox on release. It wasn't coming to PC. Like with the delay, does this also simultaneously release on PC now? Because the game is GT is already known for 1 year later the PC version comes out, right? For all the previous entries. So like if the game's been delayed a year, does the PC version then come out with the console now, or does it still get delayed by a whole another year for the PC copy?
we'll just have to wait and see at this point.
Yeah, because I feel like they're just missing out on like just money in period if they don't
I
release it
think
on PC. Because we already know how big the PC market is, especially in comparison to console, it blows it out of the water. So like, why not put it on the biggest platform? And then like I don't know, I also feel like they've always been like worried about like the mods and the RP servers and stuff like that, which go live like whenever it does come the PC.
mhm.
But like you said, it's a wait and see approach. But yeah, man, that's all the gaming news we got this week. Any last comments or remarks on any of the news this week?
No, nothing new to say. Just I'm excited. Honestly, gaming is super fun right now, and there's just a lot to be had. And like Game Pass, just every day I turn around, there's another game on it, and there's just too much to beat, too much to play, and I think we are quickly leaving the multiplayer arena, and people need to get smart quickly because less and less multiplayer games are going to be played. And the
Mm-hmm.
more we invest into multiplayer games, the worse the ecosystem is going to get because we only have so much time in the day and like
Mm-hmm.
only so many friends that can play at any given time. And a lot of us like to play with our friends. We just don't want to play alone. So
Yeah.
like I just
Yeah. Shout out to my new job where it gives me more time to play with friends now.
yes.
Finally.
Lance like, all right, I'll download Rivals.
Yeah, I was like,
Who's
fuck. And I was like, I had a couple good games. I played best when I was playing with Iron Man, but playing Moon Knight, trying to understand him and some of the other characters like Punisher and stuff, I was just like, I don't know, man.
point and click night?
Yeah. But all right, man. Yeah,
Uh,
let's close out this week's episode. So we want to shout out everyone who came through and checked us out live here today on Twitch, and anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you may listen to us at. We do appreciate all the love and support we've been getting, all the downloads I've been seeing them noticing on the app. So we definitely love it. But Roger, where can the community find you at?
I'll be here all the time.
And of course, you can check me out at Mr. Never Chillin _ on Twitter, and Threads is Mr. Never Chillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game party up, hit me up there. PlayStation from time to time is VBrew24. Facebook is Vic Brubacher for any questions, concerns, or if you want to come on the show, hit me up there. And give me a follow on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin. One of these days, I'll get back into the streaming schedule, but as of right now, it is a no go for me. I've been enjoying just being able to play games and to just focus on it and to be able to pick up and drop out whenever I want, not trying to stick to a schedule of playing for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. So just so I have a significant amount of stream time. But nonetheless, we'll definitely give that a go one of these times. Maybe when I play some Marvel Rivals, I can stream. But we do want to thank everyone again. And until next week, peace.
Press start podcast.